Welcome to Eternal Wrestling. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my beautiful, amazing co-host, AJ.
Hello, guys.
And in today's video, we're going to be doing our second installment of Are They Ruined? Or Are
Exciting
They Being
stuff.
Ruined? I still can't decide what the title is, but regardless, as just like how I can't figure out the title of this video, WWE cannot figure out what to do with Johnny Gargano. Yes, Johnny Wrestling himself has been boiled down to nothing but, I guess, a jobber and just a side piece to a bigger story, you could say. That bigger story being the great storytelling of Miz and Dexter Lumis. I know. Everyone talks about Sammy and the Bloodline. I'm talking about Dexter Lumis personally.
It's so bad.
It's very bad. He's a great performer, but for whatever reason, his comeback has been very lackluster, you could say.
In NXT, he was in a tag team with Tommaso Ciampa. They were known as #DIY. They were a very good tag team. They had classic matches against the guys known as FTR now the Revival, now known as FTR, AOP as well. And, you know, he became tag champions in NXT. He won the North American Championship 3 times. I believe that's still the record. Nobody's ever done that still. He won the NXT title in one of probably the best match in NXT history with Adam Cole in the 2 out of 3 falls match.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like a heel for a little bit in NXT with The Way, along with his wife Candice LeRae, Austin Theory, and Indy Hartwell. And then he left NXT shortly after the War Games match. The black and gold NXT guys versus the NXT 2.0 guys. And he left after that. I assume to like be with his pregnant wife or something. And then he kind of left wrestling for a bit until he came back to the main roster in, what was it, August, September? He came back. He was put in a feud with Austin Theory, which, you know, it makes sense. They have history from NXT. He then won that feud on an episode of Raw. But then ever since then, he started losing a lot. He lost to Baron Corbin. He lost to Otis. Was scheduled to face The Miz in a rematch from last week, or like a previous week's, which he lost, of course. And then Johnny Gargano came out, not to his Rebel Heart theme, which is a very good theme, just a worse version of Rebel Heart, I believe.
Yes, it's like a cover of Rebel Heart.
Yeah, and then The Miz comes out, not in his ring gear. He comes out in a suit. He says, "Oh, you're not gonna wrestle me tonight. You're not competing against me." He points to the back. Out comes the Nigerian Giant.
Yes, future WWE Undisputed Champion.
Hell yeah, Omos. He comes out with Omos alongside MVP, and he gets squashed in about 3 minutes. And then, yeah, that's where we are in the story now. I don't know what happened with that, like, anything goes match on most Dexter Lumis. I believe Dexter won.
Yeah, Dexter won.
I don't know if Johnny had anything to do with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did or not. So
doesn't fucking matter.
That's where the story is, and it's like the Godfather quote. Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah, it's very not good. As you can imagine, as his debut was pretty good. I wasn't, I stopped watching wrestling around the time where Johnny Gargano really started propelling himself into like NXT stardom, you could say. So I really didn't know much about him coming back, but I did go back and watch a couple of his matches. I was intrigued, and they are very good. Especially, I'm not a big person that likes to watch matches that are pre-recorded that aren't live. That's just my mental. It's just how I am. But those matches I could definitely watch, even though it's pre-recorded. Very good wrestler. I was expecting big things from him to come when he did come back, because Triple H loved him, loved Adam Cole, loved them, the real big faces of Black and Gold NXT. But it's kind of like he didn't even get like a US title, like, I don't want to say run, but like even like a shot at it. Like I assumed like he was gonna get like a mid-card title probably, right, to propel him to eventually one day hopefully become a WWE champion in the future, or even not that, or even like reunite with Tommaso Ciampa and like try to go after the Bloodline or something for the Raw tag titles. But he has been just a side piece for the Dexter Lumis feud with The Miz, and it's really stupid because in that way it kind of makes Dexter Lumis look like the bigger star, which, no disrespect to him, but Johnny Gargano is a way better ring performer and on the mic than fucking Dexter. I'm sorry, probably will ever be, right?
Yep.
I don't think it's controversial to say. And even I had this idea in the back of my head for a while, as a lot of people did on Twitter, but like AJ said, the Omos match really kind of like set the fire, because I was like, okay, now this is like broad as day. Like, you're putting him in a legit spot where Johnny Gargano doesn't have to be. It could be any indie wrestler. Like, it could be any local guy that you throw in there, and he was on screen for 2 minutes. When I seen that happen, I was like, okay, it's probably gonna end in a DQ. No one likes DQs, but that match you expect a DQ, because for whatever reason WWE still has this belief that Omos is gonna be the next monster in the company, which is probably gonna happen. But you don't need to diminish one of your guys that you brought back. But to my surprise, I think a lot of people around the country, he lost, and he hasn't wrestled since. It hasn't been very long since then, or maybe he has wrestled since. I can't really remember. Raw's a fucking fever dream.
True.
But regardless, he hasn't had any meaningful matches, is what I'm trying to say. And for someone that was coming back with such a big deal, even his promo was emotional because he thought he was done wrestling. For him to be put in the fucking rear view like this is pretty astronomical to me. What do you think?
It's just like, you would think like he'd be in a bigger place, since Triple H is now the head of creative, and he was a big star in NXT. He's like the first Triple Crown winner in NXT. It's just like it's like the same booking that Vince was doing. Just bring up these guys from NXT. They're treated as a big deal from like their first few weeks, and then they're just down the card you go. There you are.
Yeah, you're getting fed to Omos.
Yeah,
he's not even in the mid card, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like, the fact that he didn't get a match. I don't know for sure if Theory had the U.S. title during. I don't know. Johnny came back. I think he had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank.
But the fact that they didn't have a match at a pay-per-view for that briefcase, even if Theory won, right? The fact that they didn't even have that match is astronomical to me. Like, why?
Yeah, they should have.
Why?
They should have ran that at the pay-per-view.
Even if Johnny lost, you can have him lose in a good way and push Theory even more. Obviously, back then, in my opinion, his character was like dog shit. Obviously, and his character has improved now to me, but back then, he was unbearable. So I wouldn't have liked that. But at least he had that match. Even if it ended in a weird way, he had that match, but he didn't. And that's the issue. It's not like he's losing close matches. He's losing matches where he's not even looked at to be remotely close to the person he's facing. Am I just tripping, or do you agree?
Yeah, he's been like, I don't know, man. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's very dumb. I really don't understand how you have this talent and you don't do anything with it. Now, if this was happening to Dexter, I'd have been like, okay, whatever. It's Dexter Lumis. It's this Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, the man who would not go down ever.
Yeah, this is the same guy that kicked out of like 50 finishers against Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa and guys like that, and now he's just like being squashed. Now he's just on the roster. Matches.
He's on the roster now.
He's just kind of there.
He even his wife even came back, So like they both came back to the company. I'm assuming both expecting big things. Now obviously we don't know what's going on behind the doors or behind the cameras, you could say. Maybe he has promised something in like 6 months or so, or 5 months or so, but it's like, wow, like it really sucks that we hyped this up for him just to go away.
Maybe they're waiting for like DIY reunion, but I don't know, man. That's all I could think of.
even if they are waiting for that, I feel like you can still push Johnny. Like, he doesn't have to lose, you can give him the matches that he's gonna win. It's
the question now: is Johnny Gargano ruined in the WWF?
Yeah, I think he has been ruined, just because he hasn't really had a single like great good match since coming back. It has been 3 months now, almost 4 months It's his return, and it doesn't
I
look
remember
like
the Chad Gable match being actually very good.
yeah. No, that match was pretty good, but
Because Chad Gable is amazing.
he is,
Everyone
by
should
the
know
way.
that.
We're the biggest Alpha Academy stands in the world. But yeah, I think he has been ruined.
I do as well, and you kind of hit all the points that I made. That you made, yeah. It's just a shame, man.
Yeah, it really does suck. Hopefully he does come back, because it's not completely over. Obviously, he can turn it around, but it just is the head of the company gonna make him turn around.
Right. So that was Are They Ruined episode 2. Thank you all for watching.
Yes, thank you for sticking around and coming to the end. I really do appreciate it. If you guys could please like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be great. Anything else you gotta say, AJ?
All I gotta say is just hit that freaking bell, man.
Oh yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Peace.